Hey guys, Rollout here with another Cap Revolution Bottleman review. Today we're taking a look at BOT-03 Gyokurock. Now you might be wondering why I say it that way, and it's because his name is a pun that only works if you pronounce it the way it's spelled in Japanese. It's a combination of Gyokuro, a type of green tea, and lock, as in locked on target. Now in Japanese, L's and R's are often confused, and they're pronounced somewhere in the middle. Therefore, it's Gyokurock. While Kolomaru and Aquasports are very clearly based off of Coca-Cola and Aquarius, respectively, Gyokurock's packaging is kind of an amalgamation of multiple different kinds of green tea. The one I could get my hands on is Oi Ocha, and while there is some influence here in the form of this traditional handwriting motif, the darker cap and label and this golden text, that's all based off of various different green tea brands as well. You have a game option, you've got some advertisements, and you've got all of the included components. On the front, you have Gyokurock with all of these stickers fully applied. What's interesting is that all of his golden accents are achieved with stickers. The thing is, I really like the silver on this guy, and I'm not a big fan of the way his eyes look, so I genuinely think Gyokurock looks better without these stickers applied. Inside, you also have the instructions as well. He's got a unique visor shape and a green tea colored bottle core. The cap is removable, and I'm happy to say that this elaborate detail is printed on. Early, when these were first revealed, we thought this might be a sticker, and luckily, that is not the case. You get two of these, one in this earthy green color meant for the top of the head, and another in this brighter metallic green color. Here it is compared to the Japanese Ito-En bottle cap, and size-wise they're very similar, but the grip style is very different, and this weighs a whole lot less as well. Now, Ito-En actually distributes worldwide, and you can find Oi Ocha in American grocery stores. Here is the localized bottle cap, and it is very different. It's actually a little bit bigger than the official ammunition, but the grip style is quite close, and weight-wise, these are very similar. This is a very respectable option for use in Bottleman. Performance-wise, this core is actually pretty solid just because of how simple it is. It has quite a large trigger pad, of course not removable, but it does give you a decent amount of control over how much the trigger wiggles around. The hold parts, however, don't have any control type attribute at all. They're extremely basic. There's no fancy gimmicks here. And that's kind of their strength. They're decently powerful, they're decently accurate, and they're really good for combos. If nothing else, this guy is easier to fire than Kolomaru. That said, he's just as prone to breakage as Kolomaru. The shade of plastic used here is actually quite similar to Smash Drag Gold, who was notorious for cracking. And unfortunately, it appears the same is true here. Not only are there stress marks developing in the same places that they are on Kolomaru, but there is a bona fide crack here and another one internally. There are also micro fractures here below the hold parts. Now, I will admit, I have not been shy in pushing this core to its limits. That said, I do believe that this plastic is even more brittle than Kolomaru's. So do be careful, and if you want Gyokurock to last as long as possible, avoid doing any charge shots. He probably has the best leg parts of the first three blasters. They have a very wide surface area and a lot of room on top to rest your fingers on. They have sort of a samurai sandal thing going on here, and just like the others, this hooks onto the front and clips in at the back. Unfortunately, he probably has the worst arm parts, which wouldn't be so bad if the entire Bottleman didn't rely on them. They're comprised of two pieces, the arm itself and this blade extension, which plugs into the hand and provides guidance for the bottle cap. He has this samurai armor here for grip, and this limiter at the bottom, which stops you from pressing in on the arm too much, but rests on the legs, allowing you to provide a little bit of downforce. These scabbards stick off the back and make contact with the ground, creating something of a stabilizer. The thing is, there isn't a whole lot of surface area here, and the edge is a little sharper than I'd like. If you're playing on a wooden or cardboard surface, these will actually dig into the battlefield and might mar your table, which is extremely annoying. Of course, the biggest flaw of these arm parts is that they attach directly to the hold parts, which move and flex as you fire the blaster. This means that Gyokurock's barrel and stabilizers shift around as you operate him. With a control-type blaster like this, you want these accessories to stay put for the sake of consistency. You want to know exactly what to expect as you line up your sniper shots. And when everything is moving around as you fire the blaster, there is a larger margin for error. You also might be wondering how these blades are supposed to guide your shots if they split apart and don't actually make contact with the bottle cap. I can assure you that these blades do snap together before the projectile clears their distance. They offer about an inch of helpful guidance here, which does make Gyokurock more accurate. These arms technically work. There's just a sense of unreliability here that doesn't make him very fun to handle. The execution is an absolute mess. Not to give you whiplash or anything, but he also probably has the best head part of the first three. Of course, it has the samurai motif here with this ornate head crest, which comes together into a very effective sight. This, of course, is raised above his bottle cap and is great for lining up your shots. So, in summary, he has a great core, the best leg parts, the best head part, and some pretty awful arm parts that just drag the rest of the blaster down with them. Here he is with the other two, and at first it's kind of strange that he isn't based on an animal of any kind. His shots are personified by a horse in the anime, but that's not reflected by his design in any way. It seems a little out of place until you recognize that literally every single Bottleman so far is based on a deity of some sort. Kolamaru is Suzaku, Aquasports is Soryu, and I believe that Gyokurock is supposed to represent Hachiman, the Japanese warrior god. This isn't explicitly stated, but contextually it makes a lot of sense. Now we'll do some BSPV tests, starting with the swords attached and using the included bottle cap. Now we'll do some tests without the swords. There's no point in staying back here because such a short distance doesn't actually make any difference in the readings. As you may have guessed, the blades do reduce the speed of his shots by a noticeable amount. Next, we'll try the Japanese Oi Ocha cap. Now we'll try the localized Oi Ocha. Finally, we'll do a few ill-advised power shots using the official ammunition, just to give you a taste of what this core is capable of. When handled this way, he is very strong, but becomes hopelessly inaccurate, and he might shatter in your hands. So I can't say I recommend it. Swords reattached, we're going to do a unique kind of target practice where we shoot the gap between two bottles to demonstrate accuracy. And finally, for good measure, we'll do some traditional bowling as well. With the swords and without charge, this guy's shots aren't very powerful. But the more power you give this core, the less accurate it becomes. So as a control type, maybe that's for the best. When all is said and done, Gyokurock on his own isn't very good. Which is weird for me to say because he's comprised of some top-tier combo options. While the arms do their job in providing a marginal level of accuracy, the overall mediocrity of their design actually makes this blaster the worst performing regular Bottleman release. Swap in Cola or Aqua's arm parts, and he becomes much more viable competitively. But even then, the fragility of this core does make me hesitant to pick it for a combo. If you're a completionist, he'll look pretty cool on your shelf at least, but are his excellent leg and head parts worth the rest of his flaws? I'm not so sure. Until next time, this has been Rollout, signing off.